Hello, I'm Stumpy. Welcome to my Tomb Raider 3 world, where I've made Lara Croft's mansion from Tomb Raider 3. And over there's all the levels. Well, not all of them. I'm up to level 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've nearly got 3 and 4 completed. But 1 and 2 are completed. You see them on my channel. But today I'm going to be going down to Lara's house to show you how to automatically crawl. Crawl has just been added to the console versions. It's been in Java and the PC version for years, I think. But they've just added it to the console version, and I'm going to show you how to automatically crawl. This is how you crawl in the game without having to press anything or use the trapdoors because there's crawling in Tomb Raider, you see. This is why I need it. This is Lara Croft's mansion and a assault course, where you go through the assault course, and near the end there's the crawl space, which was a new move in Tomb Raider 3. Lara could crawl. Now, when I first built this a few years back, I just had to do that, and you just walk underneath because there was nothing else I could do. Now, a few weeks back, they added the feature where you can actually stoop, crouch, and walk underneath a half block. And I thought, great, yes, I've got some sort of crawl that I can add to. So I just put a half block in instead of just having a walk underneath. And this was only a few weeks ago, and that was me crawl. But now, as you've seen, they've added crawl into the console versions now. And so you can actually go underneath a 1 block of space. And that's how it works. Or a piston, you can use a piston as well, I believe. But I didn't want to stick that in all my Tomb Raider levels. I didn't want to have trapdoors. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to teleport to my finished or my updated mansion, and I'll show you how I automatically made your character crawl. Right, here we are at the updated mansion. So this has got all the new features in, all the new cameras, which is just being added as well. There's new camera features that's being added into Minecraft. So that's the old version. Well, no, I say old version. That's the the way to do the crawl in the new feature of crawling in the console version. But this is my automatic version. So you walk up to the crawl space, and Lara automatically goes down, crawls through, and we'll pop back up again. Again, walk up to it. She'll automatically come out. Now, I'll show you how I do it. If I hold a barrier block in my hand, when I walk up to a row of barrier blocks, it's what pushes you down. But you can't see that when you're in a normal adventure map. And then as you crawl through, as you can see here, barrier blocks are still there, but once you reach a certain point there, the barrier blocks will disappear and it lets your character back up again. Crawl through, barrier blocks stay there, and they disappear and let your character back up. Again, you don't see that while playing. Just looks like your character automatically crawls down, which is what I think is a lot better than having these in your map, which the player has to press themselves. So here's how I've done that. We have command blocks. You have the repeat ones and chain ones. Now these 4 blocks here work this side, and these 4 blocks work this side. So they're basically the same, it's just that they do the opposite sides to the crawl space. Now what we have here is, in fact, you can leave out what we'll do, make it easier. That execute there, that's something I've got in the game so different people don't get. You don't need that execute. You can have a quick look at it if you want to. You've got to tag, it's like an execute tag, but you don't need them for this. That's just making the command more complicated. You don't need them for this. Right, so we've got a test for an area. So you got test for at x equals, y equals, and then dx is the distance. It measures in one direction, the up and down direction, and then left and right. And so we've got 2 of them. And I'll show you what they do. This first one here, it identifies this row of blocks here, the row of blocks you walk into. So once you touch them blocks, it'll then put the row of barrier blocks up. And the other one tests for your character hitting this row of blocks. So again, once your character walks into the yellow blocks, it'll put the barriers blocks down, and then when it detects your character at the blue line, at the blue lot of blocks, it removes them. So that's how you get the automatic removal and replace of the barrier blocks across that area. So I'll show you that. So you put your coordinates in of your first block, which is 425 minus 42, right? So that'll be here 425 minus 42, and the height, it says there, because I'm stood on top of the block, is 69, so it wants to be 68 because you're measuring this block underneath, not the block where I'm standing. So it'll be 68. So that is that there, minus 425, 68. You put the 0.1, so it lifts it up slightly. You do need the 0.1 in to lift it up slightly, so it only detects the face of the yellow block, not the underside. You don't want it to detect the underside of the block, you see. So it's 68.1, and then you've got the dx, which is across the crawl space, 5 more blocks it wants to detect, and 0 up and 0 towards your character. And that'll detect that. And then what that does, we then have this, which is the placement of where your barrier blocks are going to be, which is 425, 68, which is the same height as the detection, and then 43, which is 1 forward. So as you see here, we've got 42, and this one is 43, and this is where you put your fill in with your barrier blocks. So you have to put the coordinates in for the length of, which is why we've got 42, 5, and then the other 2 numbers, 68 and minus 43, and then it goes to minus 420, because that's the 5 blocks of the barrier. Now this one, again, it's detecting the blue block there, across there. So again, you put in the coordinates, then your distance of X, your distance of Y, and your distance of Z, which Y and Z is 0, but your distance is 5 for X, which is across the crawl space. And this one it's exactly the same. So once you've done that one, once you've done this fill with barrier, it's exactly the same numbers here, but at the end you've got fill with A. So it takes the barrier block away. There we go. We will have an automatic crawl, which looks better in first person actually. The crawl in third person, it looks a bit janky because your character goes through the block a bit. But in first person, it looks great. It looks there we go. And that's how we got an automatic invisible crawl mechanism. So your character just automatically crawls once they reach the crawl space. No trapdoors needed, no button with a piston needed, or any other of the mechanisms I've seen using water, I think, and other stuff. But yeah, there you go. I hope I've explained it very well. I'm not very explained. I'm great at making these things and inventing these mechanisms, but I'm not very good at explaining. But you can pause the video and look at the commands inside these blocks. And as I say, these are exactly the same commands. This test 4 here is this test 4 here, and this test 4 is this one, but it's just going the opposite way for this side. So they're exactly the same. There'll be different coordinates, obviously, but they do the same job, just doing opposite ways for the crawl space. So yeah, I hope that helps anyone to automatically crawl in adventure maps. Or you can't use it in survival. I don't think. I don't have command blocks in survival survival. You've got them in adventure, which is what I use them for, my adventure maps. But yeah, in fact, I'll go and show you an example now. I'll quickly teleport and show you a quick example of where I've used it. So this is my Tomb Raider maps. It's level 1, level 2, and level 3 all the way over there. And I'll show you, like, in Tomb Raider, this is one of the levels. But in fact, I'll be able to show you my new flare effect as well. So it does look very dark here, doesn't it? It looks dark, but don't worry, I've got my new flare command structure block, command block mechanism. There we go, look at that. Just like in Tomb Raider, she has flares, and I've got a new command. Hope you can hear me over the noise. So if we go down here, opens that, and here's where one of the places I've used the crawl. And we can crawl under there. There's another crawl here. Go back. As I say, I always play in first person anyway. It looks better in first person. Oh, there's my flare run out. It's gone dark again. I'll put my flare back on. There we go. Now we can see. So yeah, made up to eventually put this into the console version, because it was one of the things I was missing in my maps. Game mode C. We can fly. But these are my maps. I'll actually give it a quick peek of 3 and 4. Which no one's seen yet. I haven't really put them up. There's level 3. nearly finished. That was a pain to make. And down here, and it fits perfectly underneath, is level 4. And again, level 4 is absolutely jam-packed full of crawl spaces. Let's put my flare back on. Loads of crawl spaces, and the good thing about the crawl space, you can actually work it at the top of ladders as well. I never mentioned this, but it'll work at the top of ladders. This is a very mazy bit in Tomb Raider, and you can put the entrance and exit anywhere you like. There's loads of crawl spaces in this part of the map, and we got 3 here. We got 3 entrances and exits. You put as many in as you like. Leading off the... There's one at the top of a ladder as well. There you go. Yeah, so that's just an example of like where I put them all in my map. And again, I hope that helps someone else who's looking for a better solution for the crawl and not so with the space, with the trapdoors, having trapdoors. There's another one, top of the stairs. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. Hope that helps someone out, and goodbye.